Like when I was at school, my classmates were bullying me a little bit for unclear diction. And imagine you're a 22 years old student and you come to big boss in a big corporate. So that's when I met speaking anxiety, a vocal coach who showed me that voice is a skill and you can gain some confidence in yourself by just working with your voice. Because how you sell, how you speak, like how you create this first impression and image, how you deliver your message, it's just like crucial to keep your job to be good as professional. So don't be afraid to use it and to improve it and to become even kind of stronger superhero than you are already.
In this episode, Nick opens up about his journey from being bullied for his speech to building a multi-million-dollar company. He shares how meeting a vocal coach changed everything, showing him that his voice is actually a skill he can develop, not something he's born with, not something you're born with. We can improve it. We dive into his experience at arriving in Tallinn during lockdown, falling in love with a snow-covered city and discovering Estonia's incredible digital infrastructure. I learned that you can buy a car without signing a single piece of paper. Nick also shares his philosophy of entrepreneurship. If you want to improve something, learn how to measure it. He also explains why soft skills will be more crucial than ever as AI transforms the workplace. It's a conversation about resilience, innovation, and the power of communication. Enjoy! Hello, this is Yohay Elam from Europe's podcast, where we talk to entrepreneurs who are making it here in Europe, and this time we travel virtually to Tallinn, Estonia. Get ready for an inspiring conversation with Nick Lahoika. Nick is the co-founder and CEO of Vocal Image, a coaching startup that helps people develop soft skills. A serial entrepreneur with more than 10 years of experience in IT and business development. Nick successfully exited 2 ventures before creating Vocal Image. His journey is deeply personal. He was bullied for unclear diction at school, which inspired his mission to help people communicate better. After being forced to flee his home country, in 2020, he arrived in Estonia with minimal command of English and used his own app to train his own voice, securing his first round of funding within just 6 months. The winner of the AWS AI Challenge and Meta Hugging Face European AI Startup Program, Vocal Image recently raised no less than $3.6 million in a seed round, led by Educapital in France and scaled to over $16 million ARR. So, with this long introduction, thank you, Nick, for coming to the show today and sharing your journey with our listeners.
Hi, hey, thanks for having me.
So, tell me a bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
Originally, I am from Belarus, and I can start with my backstory if you're curious.
Sure.
So yeah, you pretty much covered it. I'm originally in Belarus. I was born in a town named Salihorsk. This is like the city where there is extraction of salt from the ground happens, and Belarus, before sanctions, was one of big exporter in the world of this salt. So I was studying there until 18 years old. Then I get to the university and was studying economic computer science in Belarusian State Economic University. And after that, I get my first job as business analyst and project manager. Was working for a while, shifted to entrepreneurship. And in 2020, in Belarus, we were facing this failed revolution, unfortunately failed. And that's why we left the country and found this peaceful harbor in Tallinn, Estonia, where today Vocal Image headquarters is located.
I see. And vocal image, tell us a bit about that. What's the backstory here?
I think as well, like you started covering this, like when I was at school, my classmates were bullying me a little bit for unclear diction, and kids could be pretty mean. It was happening until I guess I become a little bit stronger than some of my classmates. That's where bullying was stopped. But I can say that it's never stopped overall, like in terms of like my inner feeling, because when I started working as business analyst and project manager, like you're coming to corporates, you tell them that they're doing their business in a wrong way, and you need to have this like inner confidence. And imagine you're a 22 years old student and you come to big box in a big corporate. So that's when I met speaking anxiety. And that's how I was like feeling that you need to train something like to get rid of it, because like you are going again and again through the same situation, but it doesn't help like to improve. So
Mm.
with this in back of my mind, at some point I founded a video production studio where I met a vocal coach who showed me that voice is a skill and you can gain some confidence in yourself by just working with your voice. When you accept the way how you sound, you will get your confidence. And
Mm.
we started YouTube channel first, where we validated this demand on voice training. And at some point, we shifted from voice training to soft skills, because voice is only one soft skill that you can work with. Then you can like work with vocabulary, you can work with accent, like so much more. But that's basically how vocal image was started. First, we got this YouTube channel, but YouTube channel is great for delivering knowledge, but it doesn't help you with practice. And the idea behind vocal image was to create a tool and environment when like people can practice their soft skills.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. We all need to communicate in this world. It makes perfect sense. And but you went beyond just helping yourself or helping people around you. You went and became an entrepreneur. So what inspired or motivated you to become an entrepreneur?
I think I have something like always in my mind, because when I was working in the office, I was trying to bring new ideas to make some innovation, automatization, like to improve current processes. Not all my ideas were met really pleasantly. That's where I decided that I don't want to, how to say, like waste my energy on like somebody's work. And that's when I started to try and do my own things. And that's where I could track like which ideas are working, which are not, how to improve. And yeah, I guess everything starts with these A/B tests in your youth.
Yeah, there's only one way to know, I guess, to give it a go.
So totally agree.
Yeah. And you live also now in the city in Tallinn, Estonia. I mean, for me, Estonia is famous for digitalization, Skype, entrepreneurship. What for you, what does living in Tallinn, what makes Tallinn special, living there?
So first of all, like when I first traveled to Tallinn, I like fall in love immediately. I remember it was winter of 2021. It was just a lockdown. Everything was locked, and you need to stay for 10 days at least quarantine. Uh, Afterwards, you are allowed to leave apartment. First days, like we stayed in the apartment, and then we went on running with my business partner with whom we came to establish company. We were starting like discovering city. And it was so beautiful and cozy, and it was like real winter, like a lot of snow. And first, what I like noticed in my mind, it was far away from digitalization. It was just
Huh.
they don't use any chemicals on the roads, just because this is like not good for dogs and for their paws. And
Huh.
only afterwards I was seeing that this is like super beautiful and clean and like well organized. And there is these street lamps that they are working at night, and here can be only one person outdoors, but illumination is not like turning off. And this was like wow. it could be like this. And only after it, when we started like living, making business, you go deeper in this digitalization. I don't know, you can buy a car without signing one physical paper. You can do everything digitally, like all signatures digitally. You can, like, I don't know, like book a meeting to go to this hospital like digitally. Don't need to go anywhere physically. And this is like so beautiful. After Estonia, when you go some other countries where somebody asks you to bring physical paper or send something like with a post, like kind of fax or whatever, what it is, how it works. Like, so this is the big change that happened in my mind. I probably cannot live anywhere with less digitalization like here. Then when I was like living for a few years, since 2021, it's will be 5 years. In 2026, I started exploring nature, and nature is super
Mm.
amazing and wild. And then you see, I don't know, you can meet in the city foxes, hares,
Wow.
sometimes elks. Recently, I guess like this autumn, even bear came somewhere close to the city. It was within radius like 3 kilometers from the office. I mean, like ecological situation here is like amazing, and even like in all these ratings, this air quality is one of the like top on of the world. And I don't
Mm.
know, like Estonians, they constantly complain on their weather. It's gray, but I don't know. I love this kind of a little bit coldish climate because this is super helpful and productive for work because like you have so good and nice focus. And as well, like for me, from Belarus, there is no sea around, and here there is a sea. It's as well like big change. Then it comes like this, I don't know, during May there is like really long sunsets because like day is super long, and you're like so many points I would like to highlight. So
Yeah.
anybody who never been to Estonia, you need to visit. Super beautiful, super
Yeah,
cozy.
I've never been, and now you definitely convinced me to visit. Maybe apart from that chance of meeting a bear in the street, that could be scary, but I assume that's rare. You mentioned cold weather, and also for me, I mean, I have to move to warm up, and that I also hear. I hear you when you say about being productive, and I wanted to ask you in that context, what daily routines have you put in place, or you start your day and to keep you going? So tell us a bit about the day in your life.
It varies from like season. For example, in
Mm.
summer, I prefer to start day with some kind of, I don't know, morning workout, warm up, a little bit of stretches. In winter, for example, my routines are changed. Like recently, I started making this like ice water immersion because it's like cold outside. You can get this like ice bath literally for free without any chiller systems. Just put something like outside, and then you can start, and it like makes mood for the whole like rest of the day. Like you immediately awake, and then you feel like really good. I try
Mm.
to exercise on a regular basis. Like before it was more, now I changed my training, so this is more like at least 3 times a week. I try to visit gym. We have 24/7 access to gym in the office, so we do it
Mm.
with my team members, which is nice as well. Like you are like a little bit this competition. This is super good. Mm, I have lunch in the office. I have dinner at home with my partner. We try to keep this like how to say family eating every evening together.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, on weekends, mostly I try to go outside of the city, taking my son. We are going somewhere to bogs because bogs are well established here. You can just go on these like nice trails. You can go because it's like minus in Estonia, like some, I don't know, lakes, they are frozen. So you can go ice skating in the nature. You can go
Oh,
explore
nice.
like beautiful winter. So usually on weekends, try to get outside of the city. During weekends, I wake up, I do my stuff, I cook my lunch for the office, and I go to work and I stay at work from like 10 to 5 probably.
Okay. Not too many hours, yeah.
It's not too many hours, but there is like more hours in the evening, and there is no like kind of lunch break because it takes like literally like 50 minutes. 3 times a week I go to gym, so it minus 1 hour. Uh, like 2 or 3 times a week I finish at 5. Then I go to kindergarten, take my kids. We go home, and I continue working from home when I don't
Mm.
need to take my kids from kindergarten and stay in the office until 7, 8. Depends on what we are launching and how this works. So they're like have a little bit more hours, and obviously weekends is the most beautiful part when you shift your minds from work a little bit. Try to stop thinking, try to calm down your mind, maybe some meditations, and just enjoy nature. And that's how we get this fresh energy to continue working.
Mm.
Like I don't know, for me, like sports is crucial, and
Yeah.
sometimes just change environments is crucial. That's why I try to go every weekend out of the city.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. I also occasionally change environment just by moving from my home office to a cafe, and I already feel a fresh state of mind and, of course, nature. Do you happen to go to any tech meetups there, entrepreneurial meetups? How is the scene there in Tallinn?
It is really nice. For example, yesterday it was Estonian startup awards, like held by I believe this like Estonian startup ecosystem. It was super nice. A lot of people, a lot of like strong players, big VCs, like nice startups, like
Mm.
unicorn founders. But honestly, I prefer to keep my hours more in the office or with my family than like going to
Mm.
some kind of meetups, because I don't know. For me, time is precious. This is one of the
Yeah.
most like precious resource, and you try to think wisely how to spend it, where to put your energy. Like for me, this is like two pillars. Um, like I would say three pillars, like health, family, and work. Like it's like three pillars of my life, each of them equally important for me. So I try to spread my time between these 3 points, not going outside there too much.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Focus. And yeah, when you talk about I mean work and we need to stay up to speed. The world is changing fast. Are there any books you read on business that impacted you, or podcasts, or any AI tools that you use recently discovered and can share anything in that field?
I tried like a lot of things to optimize my work. In terms of
Mm.
books, I like I would say like two books. One is like it's named One Thing. It's about mostly focus and prioritizing. It teaches you to ask or like to find this one thing that will matters the most. I mean, like there is this basic question of prioritizing. What is one thing you need to do that everything else would be done easily, or you don't need to do it at all? And you can like
Mm.
ask these questions like about your different areas of your life, about your business, about your relationship, about your health. For me, one crucial thing about my health was like to fix my sleep as much as possible, because I mean, like sleep basically when you recharge, when you grow your muscles, when you let your heart rate. I know that you're a runner, so you need to like
Yeah.
go through like to process all that lactate after your threshold runs. So sleep is crucial. So it was like one thing I need to fix, for example, in my health. So this is first book. And another book that I like is called Atomic Habits.
Mm.
And this is like how you teach your good habits and get rid of bad habits. I'm actually like rereading it now, new versions, like even on my table. This kind of workbook.
Oh.
So there is this practical exercises. There is theory and practical exercises. So this is like even in my table and travels with me from office to home and back and everywhere until I finish it.
Ah, okay. In a physical version, you actually have the book. Yeah.
I have the book, like I read from Kindle, like digital book, and this physical version was a gift, and I'm super happy that I got it.
I got it. Um, so, is there, I'd like to ask you what, if there's any piece of knowledge or information about your industry you can share that would benefit our listeners that the common person might not know about.
I mean, I would refer this Tony Robbins idea in the recent Diary of CEO podcast with
Hmm.
Stephen Barrett. That I mean, he highlighted really one like great problem that AI will take a little bit like over the world, and a lot of people they will cut off at some point, just because these agents already like automate a lot of work. A lot of stuff will be automated, so people will probably will lose their job at some point. And when I think about my industry, like soft skills training, communication training, it will be even more important. So I believe that hard skills are not enough today anymore. You need to use these soft skills as growth engine for you, because how you sell, how you speak, like how you create this first impression and image, how you deliver your message, it's just like crucial to keep your job to be good as professional. Because anyway, at the end of the day, you are not only working, you communicate with people around. Even like in the future world when everybody don't need to work, these robot machines from figure of from Tesla walking around serving us with cocktails, and we are everybody on the beach, you still need to communicate with each other. And that's why soft skills are crucial, and this market is growing. We believe that this will be even more important, and people start realizing that soft skills, communication, how you speak, how you deliver a message is much more important than it was like a few years ago, where like hard skills more kind of crucial for making decision or how to get your job.
Yeah, I totally agree. We need to know to put ourselves out there and how to put ourselves out there, and yeah, it's building trust. So yeah, well, you already gave a bit of advice in that area, but maybe what advice would you give somebody now starting or wanting to be an entrepreneur?
In terms of being an entrepreneur, I'm think I'm not the best at like it. I found my way of being it. I mean, like I'm big adept of the idea. If you want to improve something, you need to learn how to track it. Without measurement, it's almost impossible to improve. Sometimes you can be trapped in this perception if you are improving, but you can be like wrong. So if you want to improve at something, learn the way how to measure it. Maybe for some entrepreneurs, this is, I don't know, amount of customers going through their business. Maybe for some entrepreneurs, this is like reviews on their product at Trustpilot. Maybe this is like one of the best measurement in the world. This is money generated by your business, because if you're having like nice, fast growing business with money going inside, people are ready to pay. This is like direct value. Find your metric of measurement and try to optimize for that, if you ask specifically about advice in entrepreneurship. But I would probably give advice: start learning your soft skills and communication skills as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, it's not only your business. I think it's good advice for every human being and professional out there. Okay, Nick, how can listeners reach you? And is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap up?
Hmm. Like You can reach me in LinkedIn or maybe Instagram. This is maybe two most social media that I check more often than others. And like your communication skills and your voice, they are like your superpowers nowadays in this digital era. So don't be afraid to use it and to improve it and to become even kind of stronger superhero than you are already. That's everything that I would like to add.
Maybe, yeah, I totally agree. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, we need to yeah improve all the time, especially in for some of us it's harder than for others, but there's only one way to go to improve. Okay,
That is
so
the point where AI can help you like to come over your anxiety because like when people hit anxiety, like why? They have this fear of being rejected from other people. How to
yeah.
overcome this fear? Start speaking not with people because in now like nowadays you can speak with machines and you can like go through these scenarios like without any frustration, without any inner fear. So many tools. I will not tell you about vocal image, but there are so many tools everywhere where you can practice. You can start with chatting with chatbots, then you can start speaking with chatbots, but use it for trading, like use it for useful development, not just for, I don't know, find or create new memes.
Yeah, yeah, that eats your time, but developing your soft skills is something so useful. It's yeah, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so thanks, Nick, for coming to Europe's podcast, to the show. I've learned a lot, not only about yourself, but also about many other things we talked about, and I'm sure our listeners have learned a lot as well, and I hope you have encouraged them to improve their soft skills. So thank you very much, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks for having me.